It's a good day. It's a good day if you're me. Some of my peoples is back. That makes a different energy in the place. And it got me going. So today, first I'm going to tie my shoe. I don't want to trip. Because if I start moving, there's a good chance my shoelace would mess me up. So don't forget, if you're watching, you need to click the like button, make a comment, or share the video for your attendance to count. So my attendance keeper is Travis, so I'm just going to let Travis know. The people in the building today are me, Sherry, Joni, Kay, and Lavette. So basically the sound people are here. Joni is running the slides for us, Drummer Boy was beating the drums, and Lavette was doing her part and singing. It was awesome. So, I'm ready. Yeah, we can clap. It's weird people are in the building responding to things. It's going to be different. So last week I talked about Into the Woods. And then I was thinking this week, what happens if we get stuck? So this week's sermon sort of takes us back a wee bit to last week and takes us into some new things. But before we get started in that, I would like for us to pray, to center ourselves. And I would like to take you through the same thing I took Ben through this morning. Don't type your answers in because I want you to stay focused. So let's close our eyes. And I'm going to say holy is, and then you fill in the blank. And if you don't use holy as the name, then you use whatever works for you. But I want you to complete the phrase, holy is. Holy is. Holy is love. Holy is peace. Holy is joy. Holy is abundance. Holy is prosperity. Holy is laughter. Holy is happiness. Holy is energy. Holy is everything. And everything that holy is ours. Because we belong to holy. Holy works in us, through us, and around us, and says, you are mine. So today, everything we need is ours. Receive life. Receive love. Receive hope. Receive joy. Receive everything that you need in this moment. Because it is yours. Because holy says so. Holy is. And so it is. Amen. I find that very powerful. I didn't create that myself. I'm taking a class on Saturdays, and the teacher took us through that process yesterday. And I found as I listened to other people fill in the blank words, that it was just amazing. Because we all have different words that we put in the blank. We all have different things that immediately come to mind when we think about who and what holy is to us. And it was very powerful yesterday. So I hope that felt good to you. And I hope that you liked it. So, like I said, last week was Into the Woods. And we talked about how sometimes holy kind of pushes us into a new direction, into new things. And sometimes if we don't look at it in the right way, we're automatically like, this is bad. Why holy done this to me? Yeah. And we get stuck sometimes in the negative. But last week we also talked about how sometimes when we get pushed into those unknown places, into those wildernesses, we also have the ability to look around and go, wow, this is kind of magical. I can be at peace. I can be free. Yeah. I can be creative. So it was like you could experience either or, but a lot of it was up to you. What you focused on, what you wanted it to be. So today I started thinking about what happens if we resist Holy pushing us into those new places. What happens if we resist Holy so much that we get stuck? Yeah. Now, when I say the word stuck, what comes to my mind is I think of the quicksand pits you always saw in the old movies and like the old shows on TV when they would be running from the cops or something. Yeah. They'd run and they'd fall into the quicksand and then I'm stuck. Yeah. When I say stuck, that's what I think of. So what happens if we resist so much that we get stuck? We get stuck in that place. We get stuck in that negative thought. We get stuck in that negative emotion. What happens? So I'd like to introduce you, and I'm only going to say his name this way one time, because if I do it every time, I'm not going to be able to get through the sermon. So I would like to introduce you to Barack the sheep. That's Barack on the screen. Barack lives in Australia. He got lost in the wilderness. He was on his own. And sheep have wool. And they have to have their wool sheared. And if they don't get it sheared regularly, this happens. So Barack was lost in the wild on his own. His wool kept growing. And eventually what ends up happening is, number one, look at Barack. He's loaded down. But the other thing is it begins to make him blind. Barack can't see well. So he can't see what's coming next, if it's good or bad, if it's a predator or a friend. He has no idea because he can't really see because he's stuck. He couldn't find food because he couldn't see. He couldn't take care of himself because he was stuck. It's sad, right? And yeah, he's an extreme case. But for some of us, he's very symbolic of us. Holy tries to move us into a new place, or we start experiencing new things, and immediately all we see is, this is not where I want to be. This is hurting a little bit. I'm having to grow, and I don't want to grow. I'm just done with it. And we get stuck. We start focusing all on the negative. And when we're focusing all on the negative, guess what happens? We become blind to all of the blessings, all of the goodness that's around us. We can't see it. Because all we see is this thing that's in our way, that we didn't want, that we're not happy about. Somebody probably just thought, I sure wish this girl would quit preaching at me. So I'm going to help you out and tell you that I'm all over my own toast today as well. I know about being stuck. I've been stuck a few times in my life. But most recently, I got stuck in a negative emotion because of my father-in-law. It wasn't his fault I got stuck, but my emotion was about him. Most of you know that a year ago, Sherry's parents came to live with us. And the original plan was they were going to live with us. The mom was still going to be his caretaker. And we were there for backup support. We would do the heavy lifting when mom couldn't do the heavy lifting. Anything mom needed, we were there. We were support services. That was our title. But then at the end of September, thereabouts, mom had a stroke. And it made it so that mom became someone who needed constant attention and constant care. So Sherry made the decision, a very difficult decision, to place her mother in a facility where she could have constant care. And when I say constant care, what I mean is every 20 minutes, her mom was yelling for help. She was needing something. And it was exhausting to us. So the decision was made and everything got prepared, and mom went to the facility, and dad has stayed at the house with us. Because even though dad needs a lot of care, he's not yelling for you every 20 minutes. You give the man a Harry Potter book and sit him down at the table, he'll read Harry Potter all day. He doesn't need you the way the mom needed, right? But there are things about the father being there that started irking me. I can't just spontaneously wake up one morning and say, let's go to the beach. I can't do that. We need someone to sit with the old guy, to be there in case he needs something. I started getting selfish. I started getting resentful. And it was eating me up. I didn't like it. I couldn't figure it out at first. I lashed out a lot. A lot. Don't say amen, Sherry. I was not a fun person to be around. And it was too much. And it was a lot like Barack. Barack has all that extra baggage. And the more I festered in my resentment of the situation, the more weighted down I became. The more stuck I was. And then one day, I realized I couldn't live like that. It was eating me up and I could not do it. So people normally tell you that there are 3 things that you can do if you have a problem. 1, you can accept it. If you can't accept it, you can change it. If you can't change it, you can leave it. Where if you know me and you know how I love my girl Sherry, you know I'm not a leaving. So I was like, okay, I have a decision to make. And so the decision I made was, I got to stop this. I got to get out of this. I have to get unstuck. And once I made up my mind, and sometimes it is as simple as that. It is as simple as saying, I'm not living in this place. I'm moving from this spot. This isn't who I am. Christy, you're not this resentful, sour person. You're happy. You love people. You love life. And right now you walking around acting like you could kill everybody and it would be fine. It was bad, y'all. So I realized it and I made a choice. And then I took steps to help me with my choice. I contacted a spiritual coach and I started going through coaching sessions. Actually, 1 session, single so far. I have more lined up. But even in 1 session, it's so funny. You listen to the people tell you, like you tell them what you got going on. And then her thing was, she goes, okay, let me repeat back to you what I hear. And so she said back to me what she thought she heard. And she would say, is that accurate? And I was like, yes. And she goes, so you've got a whiny, selfish little voice inside you saying this old man is ruining your world. And I was like, yeah, I do. And she's like, okay, but you have a choice. And it's so funny because as soon as she said it, as soon as she said the things that I already know, because these are the things that I tell all of you, as soon as she said it, I was like, girl, you knew that. But to leave being stuck, I had made choices. I made decisions. And sometimes that's all it takes. In Luke chapter 15, verses 11 through 32, we hear the story of the prodigal son. The prodigal son told his father, I don't want to wait till you die to get my inheritance. I want it now because I want to go live my life and have a good time. The father said, okay, that's what you want to do. And so he gave him his inheritance, and the boy leaves home. The boy spends all the inheritance. He wasted all up. It don't really say, but I'm going to say that boy was gambling and drinking and meeting him some pretty girls and, all that kind of stuff. And he spent every dime. He had nothing left. He woke up in a pig pen. Can you imagine? That's stuck. If you're sleeping with the pigs, that's stuck. Because pigs that's mud and yucky stuff, okay? So it's a lot like the quicksand that I picture when I think of stuck. So he wakes up in this pig pen and he looks around and he sees the state of affairs and he says, this ain't no way for me to be living. I'm getting up and I'm going back to my daddy's house. I'm going home. And he got up and he went. And he was scared as he went. He was afraid his father would reject him because of the shame. But when the father saw him, the father ran to him, embraced him, even though he stunk like a pig, hugged him, loved on him, and threw him a big old party. All he did was make a decision. I ain't staying in this negative place. I'm not staying here. I'm not staying stuck. This is not where I belong. I'm getting up and getting where I'm supposed to be. Also in Luke 15, there's the parable of the sheep and the shepherd. There are 100 sheep. The shepherd realizes one sheep is lost. So the shepherd leaves the 99 sheep to go and get the one that done got lost and done got stuck. Sometimes when we're stuck, we can make a choice and get out of it, but sometimes it takes somebody coming to get us. Sometimes it takes Holy showing up. Because see, when you're stuck like that, Holy's still there. But you're like Barack. You're blind. You can't see. You don't recognize the goodness. You don't recognize Holy still right there saying, come on, get up. We ain't got to stay here in this nasty place. Let's go. You're beginning to smell. Let's go get a bath. You can't see that or hear that because you're stuck. So what ends up happening is Holy gets hold of somebody else and sends them to get you and pull you out, to get you back into safety, back into wholeness, back to where you belong. So some of you, you're in a place right now where you're like, I couldn't make a decision to leave this spot even if I wanted to. I am so stuck. All right. Call us, message us. We're going to come running. We're going to pull you up out your quicksand. Now, if you in a pig pen, I'll send Kay. I'm just kidding. But if you're stuck, you've got us. You've got friends. You've got people who love you, and we want to be there for you. We will come get you. You ain't got to be stuck. And this is huge because we tend to start thinking, especially right now, it seems during COVID, that, oh, I'm just all by myself. Yeah. I'm just living through this by myself, and it just sucks. And I'm tired of seeing these same walls. I'm tired of seeing my reflection in the mirror. I'm tired of talking to myself because I done started answering, and that is not a good sign. I'm just fed up, and I ain't got nobody. And the more we say, I ain't got nobody, guess what happens? The realer that becomes. And the more you're sinking, I ain't got nobody. I ain't got nobody. I ain't got nobody. All you're doing is amplifying. I ain't got nobody. I ain't got nobody. And so then you look around and guess what reality is? You ain't got nobody. If you want things to change, you have to accept it, change it, or leave it. You're stuck. You got to get out of being stuck. So you either have to make a choice to get up and move on your own, or you have to pray and call and ask us to come get you. Yeah. And we will. We will come lift you up. We ain't even got to come to where you are to lift you up. I think of all of you at random times throughout my day. And when I think of you, the thing that I think is, Holy, surround them with love, peace, everything they need. Yeah. Be with them. Every time I think of each one of you, I think something similar to that. That's lifting. That's right. But you have to tap back in. See, when you get really, really stuck, you're not tapped in anymore. You don't feel holy. You can't see holy. You can't hear holy. So even though I'm sending out prayers and sending out holy, be with them, holy, be with them, you're tuned out. I need you to choose to tune back in. Because when you tune back in, you know what? People are lifting me up. People are loving me. People are keeping me in their thoughts, in their prayers. They believe in me. They love me. They think I can do all things. I got to get up from here and get back to where I'm supposed to be. Sometimes you got to come get me. You got to lift me up sometimes. And I got to lift you up sometimes. We're all in it together. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter how it works. It doesn't matter if you're stuck and you go, I'm choosing to get unstuck. And then, boom, it works for you. That's great. Doesn't matter if you're someone that can't do it just by making a choice. That you need more. You need someone to lift you. You need someone to help you. Either way it goes, you're getting unstuck. And when you get unstuck, guess what there is? There's freedom. Now see, Barak the sheep, I keep pointing to the screen, y'all can't see. Barak the sheep, somebody went and found him. And they brought Barak back to safety and to wholeness. And they helped Barak. Johnny, show them what Barak looks like now. He got a haircut. Barak can see now. Barak can see what's coming. Barak has a future. See, when you're stuck, you don't think you have a future. Barak has a future. Barak done lost 78 pounds of wool. Barak has a new life. Getting unstuck gives us a new life. It gives us a new hope. It gives us a new reason to keep going and to keep trying and to keep being. But we got to get unstuck. And I read a quote this morning by George Bernard Shaw, and I'm probably going to get it wrong because I forgot to write it down. But he said that sometimes people are more attached to their burdens than their burdens are to them. Yeah. Think on that. Right. Sometimes we want to stay stuck because we like it. We know what this feels like. It's comfortable. Yeah, the pigs don't smell that great, but at least I know what's happening, and, I'm all right. They'll oink if something's coming. We like to hold on to all of that negative stuff sometimes. I have a family member, she's been through some horrible, horrible things. But one of the things that she went through like 20-something years ago. And to this day, you meet her and she talks to you like it just happened 20 minutes ago. She's still holding on tightly to all that negative baggage. She ain't the cleaned up version of Barak. She's the boop version of Barak. She's holding on to her burdens. Some of you keep telling yourself that there ain't no better way. And that what you've got is all there is, and that's that. Well, you're wrong. Holy wants all goodness for you at all times. But you got to have some kind of about you. You have to have some kind of motivation to look around and go, this ain't where I belong. God said, I'm wonderful. God said, I'm beautiful. God said, look out what you see. It's all yours, Abraham. That's all yours. I'm a child of Abraham. I'm a child of God. I'm going to go get mine. But instead you sit there and think, I can have nothing. I can do nothing. I am nothing. And if you keep repeating that, it is your truth. But it is not who you're meant to be, and it is not what Holy wants for you. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 and 30, Jesus says, are you tired? Worn out? Burned out? Get away with me, and you'll recover. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. Isn't that what Barak looks like now? Freely, lightly. That's how you're supposed to live. When we said holy is and we filled in the blank, one of the words that we left out, holy is freedom. Holy is opportunity. Holy is possibilities. And holy is everywhere, all the time. Don't stay weighted down by whatever it is you've been carrying. Choose freedom. Choose traveling light. Choose life. And just like Barak the sheep, when you choose to get unstuck, when you let someone else get you unstuck, to come find you and pull you out, just like his life changed, your life will change. I got people in the house today, so we're going to do it. If you're with me, say,
Amen.
And so it is.